Hi, I'm Dr. Robert D. McDonald of the Telos Healing Center. Dr. Luzette McDonald and we created it, and also I've created the Destination Method. I want to talk to you today about resolving painful memories. There's a diagnosis that psychologists provide for issues that have to do with painful memories. Instead of calling them painful memories, they call it post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm not interested in these kind of diagnoses. I am interested in what is meant by post-traumatic stress disorder, which is simply a painful memory, a memory that when the person thinks of it, they still feel bad about it. And then what can be done about the memory, not what can be done about a diagnosis, what can be done for the person who happens to have a memory that still hurts them. I personally have worked with thousands of people who've had these painful memories and helped them to resolve the painful memories, typically in one session. I want to give you an example about that. Not only have I done individual work with hundreds, thousands of people, but also in groups of hundreds of people at a time. So the truth of the matter is that painful memories can, in fact, be resolved. One example of this is I was teaching in Holland. My wife, Dr. Luzette, and we teach in Holland quite a lot. And one day when I was there, I found out that there had been a woman on television. Her name is Wies de Win. She was on television. She was being interviewed in a popular interviewing show. And one of my students, a magnificent woman named Paula Capers, who really understands coaching extremely well, I've taught her all these different kinds of methods. She watched the program. She listened to Wies de Win and heard that Wies de Win had been raped by a man who was actually a serial killer as well as a serial rapist. He had broken into her home. He tied her up. He raped her, and he left her for dead. This happened to her about 20 years before she was on television. The reason she came on television because she heard that the rapist was about to be released from prison, and she was terrified about this. So she went on television to say, listen, I don't think it's right. It's not a good thing to release this man. I don't know what to do. And the interviewers wondered why she was still upset about what had happened to her 20 years earlier. And she explained that she'd been to many different forms of psychiatry, psychotherapy, coaching. She'd done medications. She had done everything she could, but that she still was suffering with this terrible, painful memory. Well, when my student heard about this, she called the television station and said, it can be resolved. Dr. McDonald is going to be in Holland. Come and do the work. She had to call the television station about 7 or 8 times over time. She didn't give up. Eventually, the information got to Wies de Win. Wies de Win then did, strangely, courageously, agreed to have the work done. My only requirement was that she do it on video. So she came to a classroom that I was teaching. There were about 60 or 80 students in the class. We had a videotape going on, and I worked with her specifically about the experience that she had with this serial killer, this serial rapist. She told the story about what had happened, and in fact, I helped her to rearrange the memory of it. In one session, at the end of that session, I asked her, how do you feel now when you think about that memory in which you were raped? She was able to talk about it comfortably, easily. She said there was no longer did she have any of that upset that she had before. But naturally, she wasn't sure how long this would last. We had that on videotape because, well, frankly, this kind of experience is unbelievable to most people because they hear that such severe trauma can't possibly be resolved in one session. But I happen to do it quite a lot. So does my wife, Dr. Luzette. We do this commonly. So we had it on videotape. We still have it. You can see it at some point if you'd like. But in any case, that was about 8 years ago when I worked with her. And Wies de Win now goes around Holland and different parts of Europe, and she teaches about the fact that she used to have what was called post-traumatic stress disorder. She used to have a painful memory. She no longer has a painful memory about what happened to her. She remembers it. Of course, she doesn't have amnesia. She remembers it, but it no longer hurts her. She remembers it the same way she remembers any neutral memory. This is fully possible. This is doable. I want you to know this. This is deeply important to me to share this fact that this can be done. And not only can it be done with individuals, it can be done in group form. I've worked at Agape, a very large spiritual organization in Culver City, California, has about 20,000 members. I've worked with 400, 500 people at a time and helped these people to resolve their painful memories. It can be done. I want you to know that, and I'm glad that you're paying attention to these videos, and come and see me with the next one.